How you guys doing?
Good. I'm here to guarantee Trump gets back in and get rid of the corruption that's in the White House right now. It's a disgrace. Joe Biden's a disgrace to this country.
He's a disgrace, and so are all the left and the rhinos, the globalists.
They jail them all. Jail them all.
I agree with you on that. Ma'am, I love your shirt there. I stand with Trump. What a great shirt to wear.
I agree with it. Hey, look at that shirt, everybody. Hey, look at that. I stand with Trump. I stand with a different message than what that guy was saying when he said we should kill them all. And I just agreed with him and moved on with my day. There's a lot to take issue with there. I mean, first of all, if you care for authenticity in politics, when the guy's like, he doesn't like such and such, and then the newsman's like, yeah, and all the rhinos and oh God, this person is not speaking from the heart. He's like playing to a crowd that he probably disdains. But anyway, that is an individual on RSBN. You don't need to know what it is, but it's a thing, and they probably have billionaire backing, who just casually agrees that we should kill them all. Now, he doesn't think that that's a fair assessment of what you saw in that video, so we're gonna be fair to Matthew Alvarez and give him a chance to respond. Here is his backpedal.
Now, there's something that is trending on Twitter right now. Outside, we were interviewing a number of people. They were talking about how great the country is, how great the president is. And I heard something else that was spoken, but what I'm hearing was somebody said, well, let's kill them all. That is not something that I agree with, obviously. So if there is something that happened where somebody was speaking out there, I didn't hear those words spoken. It's very loud outside. All I know is I'm here for God, for this country, for truth, for President Trump, that kind of thing. Definitely not proponent of anything like that happening. Yeah. So there you go.
That is like a D+ apology, if it was even an apology, a clarification at best, because he said that he didn't agree with the guy, but then he said, if someone said something like that, what do you mean if? They said it, it's on tape, you just admitting it, and then immediately it becomes hypothetical. Maybe it is, maybe said it, maybe didn't, I don't agree with it. That's where I'm drawing the line, by the way. I'm not gonna criticize the person who apparently likes me and loves Trump, but also believes that we should kill all the libs. I got nothing to say about that because I'm too busy talking about God. I don't care about the person who believes in my ideology and also thinks that we should engage in some casual genocide as a treat. I'm too busy talking about God. Well, if you were that obsessed with God, maybe you'd have an issue with the casual call for mass murder. Anyway, just trying to clarify conservative Christianity and some of the tweaks maybe they can make to it in case Congresswoman Green is watching. But JR, what do you think?
There's a couple things here. First, off the top, the guy, the person in the crowd who's a Trump supporter, he said, I'm here to guarantee that Trump gets back in. I'm here, my one sorry ass is here to guarantee that Trump gets back in. How does that work? Did it work when several hundred of you all showed up, maybe 1,000 showed up on January 6th to guarantee that Trump gets back in? How do you guarantee that? You're supposed to vote. That's how you work at it. At least you hope that enough people vote and maybe your candidate convinces enough of you that he's actually gonna do something to lead the country in a positive direction and not genocidal type of positive directions in your minds. But just how is that gonna work? You're there to get him back in. Whatever, that's the way they think democracy works. Stand here and chant and talk about how you wanna, in this case, kill or jail them all, because there's been some pushback saying that he said jail them all. Am I right, John? We can get to that in a second, but at least as far as, yeah.
Hold on, I believe the first thing he said might have been jail or it might have been Jill, but the second one was kill.
Okay,
to be clear.
So that's, and then this is where now the clarifications are coming, the arguments are not coming, which actually annoys me. Because look, yes, it is worse if he said kill them all versus jail them all. But then again, I do believe this reporter didn't remember that guy, didn't know what he said. Because look, you did mention how he just agreed with him. Oh yeah, some guy in the audience, he's a MAGA guy, I'm supposed to agree with him. Let me say, he kind of came up with something. Yeah, also the globalists and also those rhinos too, right? He's just trying to find a way to connect with the guy. He's not listening to him. They don't agree with anything they say. They're just trying to get some kind of generate some good I guess, propaganda type of interview where people at home are watching and feel nice and warm and cozy about watching their fellow man stand outside and talk about how they're defending someone who's up for 25 to 50 crimes. So that's the objective. It's not to listen and interview someone. So I do believe he wasn't remembering it, had no idea what the guy said. But let's go with the kill versus jail. If you did say jail everyone, you're gonna jail every rhino. Based off of who? Jail everyone that's your political opponent. Based off of what? Who's determining whether or not the law in the United States of America, the best in the world, is now jailing political opponents? That's just as bad, bro. Just saying, because what's gonna happen once they're in jail? We're gonna find out later if they end up being jailed in Texas. They just might be killing too. Yeah,
look, it is possible he said jail. It is possible, as Bernie points out, that he said boo earns. I'm not sure. It was bad. It was. I don't agree with this group of people, so that's it for them. Maybe they're disappeared, maybe they're locked up for life, maybe they're put up against a wall and shot. I don't know, but you get the basic idea. And by the way, I will even extend to you, yes, the guy might not have been paying that much attention. So my criticism, the point of doing this video is not he 100% agrees with kill them all. He's a right-wing pundit. I don't think he believes basically any of this stuff he's saying. It was oozing from this guy. He's this guy that thinks I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna some millionaire's gonna hand me a bunch of bucks or whatever to sell out. I'm gonna go to Fox News, and now I have to go and I have to talk to the yahoos for a couple minutes, and just don't get too close to me. But sure, say your thing about Jill 'em all, whatever. And he's definitely not gonna remember them because he has utter disdain for them. The issue is, once you get back in, you're doing your clarification. I want to know what you think about this thing, because you may not agree with that specific thing, and thank you for clarifying that. But a guy who seems to agree with you on almost everything has some crazy beliefs. Maybe you could be a little bit critical of those, but no, because they're busy being critical of something else. Another guy joined him. This is Brian Glenn, and they try to distract by talking about other topics.
In the context of listening to people and you got a crowd and someone's kind of ranting on something, it is very natural for someone to maybe agree with that statement, although you didn't really understand what they said or you misunderstood.
I don't even recall hearing something like that.
But this is what many on the left will do. They'll take a clip of that and they will run with it. And all of a sudden their statement is that you want to, kill everybody or whatever. We want to make an official statement right here that you do not want to kill anybody.
They spin it just like they spin everything with President Trump. Anything that happens, they just spin anything they can against God, against the truth.
Okay, they make a good point. When I watched that video of the Trump supporter calling for them to all be jailed or killed, that does demonstrate how bad the left is. What are you talking about? Again, yes, thank you for the clarification that you two hosts don't want to kill them all, and then now you're back to talking about God. If you care about God so much, would you like to comment on the guy on your side who wants to kill / jail them all? Could you maybe say, oh, by the way, we don't agree with that, and we don't think anyone in our movement should believe. We make statements, Jared, like that all the time. Obviously, I'm not in favor of killing people politically, but I also don't want anyone on our side to do or advocate for anything like that. How can you, a person who can't seem to go 30 seconds without God's name popping out of your mouth, not say that you're against mass murder for anybody? Nobody gets to do that, and that is not a problem on the left. That's a problem on your side. You just demonstrated it with the interview you did.
Did you notice the interview?
Wait, JR, give me 1 sec. I want to demonstrate how bad it is, because maybe he wasn't paying that much attention. Maybe he was just like, ugh, the dirty pores, I'll move on to something else. I want to play that tape again, and I want you to see the reaction of all of the people around this guy calling for them to all be jailed or killed.
They jail them all. Jail them all.
I agree with you on that. Ma'am, I love your shirt there. I stand with Trump. What a great shirt to wear.
None of them care. None of them seem to think it's noteworthy that he's calling for them to either be jailed or jilled or killed. They're all like, yeah, this is just what a Tuesday is like, man. We advocate for some crazy stuff. That is a problem, and it's not a problem for the left.
It's a very normal thing. But also, by the way, you notice that once the reporter, or at least the guy who was out in the field, came back and was trying to defend what had happened, as you point out, it should be, we don't believe in this type of stuff. Whatever it is that he said, he's a fringe aspect of us. And anyone who thinks like him, I need you guys to rethink the way that you approach these things, right? But he's thinking about himself. This is a very, a lot of folks within conservative movements or conservative groups, or maybe even Trump's administration, they find themselves collectively together for whatever they're trying to collectively go for. But once there's an issue, man, everybody's it's fending for themselves. So all he was thinking was, I didn't agree with that. I didn't hear it. I didn't actually say all this stuff. Cool, and he's covering his own bases. But then again, why is it only about you? This is someone you're associated with. Were you not concerned? Say that guy did say kill everyone, and he believes it from what he said. He didn't remember hearing it. So there was someone you were talking to that said he wants to kill everyone that's a political enemy. Aren't you concerned about being out in that crowd again now?
Yeah.
Aren't you concerned about being associated with anyone who thinks like that? It's only just you and you being seen on TV or being seen saying those things or agreeing with those things. It's not about the movement agreeing with those things, because that's where the problem is. You don't worry about maybe if this guy goes, yeah, and I'm gonna go grab my semi-automatic rifle and go doing what I told you I wanted to do. That's also the problem here.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm gonna provide, in closing, a bit of advice to Matthew Alvarez, a couple different kinds. First of all, and maybe you already get this, but if you don't, you should try to get that, like, do you have any idea that when you participate as you are in the radicalizing of your audience, the monster you're building grows and grows and grows, and so too grows its hunger. And eventually, the group that needs to be jilled will be you, that you'll be included in there. They hate Fox News, by the way. Fox radicalized them years and years and years and years, and now Fox is not radical enough for them. And so now Fox is all radicals, or is all rhinos. And that'll be OAN, and that'll be RSBN, and that'll be Newsmax, and all of that, because you guys are going to be eclipsed by even crazier, more genocidal weirdos on the internet. They may not be calling for you to be hung yet, but at one point they weren't calling for Mike Pence, Matthew Alvarez. So maybe just watch out for yourself. And also, like, just saying you don't believe in it, like, could you try to emulate a little bit of testicular fortitude and stand up to the people you're talking to? I'm not asking for you to respond to everyone on the right who says something like that, but that guy said it to you. And by the way, I'm not asking for you to do anything that I won't do. When people say stuff in our audience that I don't like, what do? When people like mock the appearance of like, Marjorie Greene or something, when they attack people in an unfair way, what do? I point out that it's inconsistent with our values. And I understand why some might not want to do that. They would prefer to keep a fan or grow an audience over actually living their values. They'll lie and manipulate and deceive and lead them astray for years and years if that's what it takes to have a nicer kitchen or something. But if you actually care about this, if it isn't just a GD game to you, then you actually live your values. And if that comes with consequences, it comes with consequences. But not living your values comes with consequences too.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.